Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the reaction log. Whoa, whoa, whoa! We got a special spicy one here for you. This is the last Marcin video I'm ever gonna make, because today we are going to dismantle his entire career. Whoa, whoa, whoa! No, I'm just kidding. Marcin posted a new video, and it's a classic one. Classic redone. I returned to my class after 10 years just to play this song. It's not even a piece. You know the song by Paganini? The song? That's what we call him? Did they teach you anything in that Polish conservatory? I'm surprised they even had you back, Marcin. I do appreciate that Marcin is playing legit classical music again, and that's been my whole criticism for him. Of course he plays classical music, you know, like when he plays his Beethoven bangy bangy arrangement, but that's sort of a rabbit's foot, like I made a deal with the devil version of classical, where this isn't really what I asked for, you know? But this is going to be, I assume, him just playing Paganini. He's probably gonna play it a little faster than the marking. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. And you know what? He's had this in his repertoire for 9 years now, or more than 9 years. Probably 10, 11, 12 years. Who knows actually how long, but he's been working on it for at least 9 years, because his first video that he posted is a 9-year-old video, and now he just posted one day ago. So I'd like to watch both of them. I'd like to follow along with the score, because, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I am a classical guitarist here on YouTube. And what does it mean to be a classical guitarist? It means music is the score. It's the end-all be-all. It is the piece. That is everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull that up, and maybe I'll tell you a little bit about this piece. I know that you guys usually don't come to me to learn, but I can tell you some things. So first off, this is Paganini's Caprice number 24. It's a very famous theme and variations piece. By that I mean there's a theme, and then there are going to be several variations. I think 12 with a finale. Yeah, 12. Alright. So you get one theme, and you get it in 12 ways. That's what this piece is. So, this was originally composed for violin, and as far as I know, I'm pretty sure this John Williams arrangement follows the violin version, like, every variation. It's just adapted for guitar. So we're gonna follow along with that. Oh, and of course the copyright was from Boozy and Hawks. Whoa, alright. I try to make things light and fun here on Sore Hands, so, you know, forgive me. For 9 years, is there gonna be any improvement whatsoever? Because I remember I've seen the first one, and you guys like to reference it for, like, how awesome Marcin is. Which Marcin is awesome, by the way. He is a very good guitarist. He had a lot of potential as a classical guitarist, and then he kind of, like, sold his soul, in a sense, and just pursued, you know, like Instagram clickbaity, smashy, tappy guitar, which is fine. That's his own prerogative, and that's fair. So I want to see how much he's been working on his classical chops. Is it going to be any better or any cleaner? Probably the most famous performance of this is the Elliot Fisk performance, and it's famous, maybe not even for the best reasons. It's famous for being a little sloppy. I'm sure you guys have seen it. So we'll have those going side by side, and commentary will flow, and hilarity will ensue. So let's go ahead and jump into this, shall we? So this is the video that gets referenced to me a lot, and you guys say, Marcin's actually really amazing at classical, look at this. Well, you know what? Let's see how amazing it is. I think he's like 16 in this. He's literally in a conservatory studying classical music, surrounded by his peers. Something that you guys mention a lot is that the people in the audience are like rolling their eyes and stuff. Everyone be like, why are we still here just to suffer? Up next is little Timothy. He'll be playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. They all go to the same school. I don't know if there's like this jealousy that you guys are imposing on. Maybe you just see Marcin as like this god figure, so like obviously anyone near him will just like bow to him and be super jealous of him and stuff. But I don't know, like literally his peer has his own video there that also has 1.7 million views, which is crazy because that's not even Marcin. And it's that guy right there, that young man. Look at him. Okay, let's see what we got here. Pretty quick, definitely quicker than the John Williams recording of this. I'm not really a huge fan of this piece. I feel like nobody really plays it that well. It's not a guitar piece, it's a violin piece, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of times speed and classical guitar just aren't really like you can be fast on classical guitar with certain things like arpeggios and stuff, but this sort of melodic speed, it's just rarely done well, in my opinion, on guitar. I think that's something that Marcin's like flamenco background and technique kind of aids, because it gives this piece some of the fire that I think it deserves. Because, you know, like the violin is so like scratchy, and his technique is kind of scratchy and fast. It's a little sloppy here too. Nice contrast between the repeats though. That was nice. Loud and soft. Classic. All right. It's sloppy. It's definitely sloppy. Let me just hear the second part. So that was variation 1. Sloppy 2. I honestly think it came out better than the theme, though. Like, more notes were hit. And it was pretty impressive, you gotta admit. Or, really, I gotta admit. I think everybody else on Earth admits that it's impressive. But yes, that was very impressive, especially for a 16-year-old. And that variation is the part that people bring up with the Elliot Fisk thing. So let's just listen to Elliot Fisk play it really
When
quick.
emergency strikes, first
we gotta watch
responders
this
need their
first, though.
critical
Hold on.
technology.
So already, I prefer this theme much more, but also Elliot Fisk is like, his hair is literally graying at this point. And something to keep in mind too, he's playing in a much higher stake environment. This is at a festival. I'm assuming a competition. I don't know if he's just like performing. Now, I don't know what Marcin's video is. I'm assuming that this isn't like a test that Marcin's being graded on. Nice cameras they're bringing in, and they brought in like microphones and stuff. Usually a test would just be done not being filmed. Okay, yeah, it's a class concert that was filmed. Well, that's actually interesting. I was gonna say that because the camera angle is gonna change, I wonder if they got multiple takes, like if they played it multiple times and then stitched it all together. But maybe not, if it's a concert, I'm not sure. But yeah, there are a lot of differences between the videos. Like, obviously the age and experience, Elliot Fisk has way more experience. Well, let's actually hear Elliot play that part. Tuning. Tuning, like, to the rhythm. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. You know, not great, right? Marcin's younger self definitely played that part better. I do prefer Elliot's theme, though, just from that listening. I don't like this piece. I don't listen to this piece ever. But yeah, let's keep going. We have this. So just like max speed. The tempo marking for this is, at least for the theme, no troppo presto. Not too fast, that's what it means. I think Marcin just saw the presto part of that. And in variation 2, that is true, because it seems like he's straining pretty hard to keep this tempo up. And it sounds like it's dragging quite a bit, just because it's too fast. And it's just this melody, and a lot of notes are being missed from the speed. If he dropped it 5 or 10 clicks, it would sound really clean, and it would be a lot better, I think. I don't know what this is. That's not variation 3. Variation 3 should be an octave section. It's a really beautiful section. It's just skipped, though. I don't know. Marcin skipped that one for some reason. I guess his teachers thought that his octaves were good enough. He didn't need to practice them. Whatever. Ooh, nice chord there. Really nice. I don't know where this variation is. I don't know which one this is. He might be playing a different version or something, but okay, it seems like we skipped right to variation 7, like from 3, I think, so I don't know. Yeah, this is a very guitar-y variation. You know, kind of like whatever. So, we're moving on to variation 8. Let's hear how his arpeggios are. Nice phrasing. I think this is the best phrasing we've heard out of him so far. Very intentional rises and falls and stuff. Alright, I think we got that one. Oh, we got some strumming Raschiato there. You know that's why he learned this whole piece. Once he sees those arrows, it's all over. You gotta put some arrows in Marcin's sheet music if you want him to actually practice that. Alright. Even when he's practicing classical, he can't help himself. It's gotta be something with arrows. Yeah, alright, so we get the idea. This is really impressive for his age. It even says there he's 16. It does sound like a 16-year-old, though. His playing doesn't really sound that developed. It sounds like he was really talented, and he's just been playing for a couple of years now. So with 9 years to improve, it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to sound. So without further ado, let's jump into the new one. Whoa. So I returned to my class after 10 years just to play this song. Just call it a piece, Marcin. Why can't you just give us something? This song. Or are you going to play Wonderwall? Live from my hometown. All the love to my friends who agreed to come 10 years later. I hope you paid them, Marcin. There they are. Look at them. I wonder if they're still practicing classical guitar. By the way, if you know any classical guitarists and they ever say they have a gig, this is the gig right here. Yeah, I'm background eye candy for Marcin's new music video. I have a classical guitar gig. Alright, anyways, let's see what we got. Alright, well, first thing I notice, the audio is much more clear, and it sounds like there's a lot more, like, stuff on the audio. You know, like I'm hearing just the slightest brushes of nail noise. And the only reason I'm really talking about that is because it's stuff that's going to help this sound cleaner, even if he's playing something really quiet. The huge amounts of compression will just make it sound louder. Because basically what compression does is it takes all the quiet sounds and makes them louder, and all the loud sounds and makes them quieter, thus like compressing, but also expanding, but mainly compressing the waveform. So everything just sounds kind of the same volume. And if we hear that, it's just like little brushes just come out like way louder than it would. Overall, it's cleaner. It's still kind of messy, though. And, like, if you just drop it down, like, 5 BPM, I feel like this would still be one of the fastest recordings, and it would be a lot cleaner. So it's like, why are we trying to extend ourselves so far just to get a little more speed? For what? Technically, it is better than what you played 9 years ago. But, like, I just feel like that would make it better, you know? And I can already hear you guys, like, how can you dare even give suggestions to the genius Marcin? It's my flipping YouTube channel. I make these videos for free, and I can say whatever I want. So this is something that I'm saying now. I want to talk about Marcin. You know why? Because it makes a lot of money. Do you think I actually care about his Paganini performance? No. I would never listen to this otherwise. Like, I can just hear all the disagreements from all the professional classical guitarists. Just like, you actually don't really know what you're talking about. Write a poopy little baby comment about it. Or how about you make your own video about it? I bet mine will get more views, though. So boom, suck it. Unless it doesn't, in which case, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's my point, though. I'm going to be speaking freely here, and I'm going to praise when I feel like praising, and I'm going to criticize when I feel like criticizing. So get over it. If you disagree, leave a comment. Hey, Marcin, you're playing it too fast. You can't play it that fast. It's sloppy. Maybe for your standards, that's fine. And maybe that's why a lot of classical guitarists don't like Marcin, because, like, we would prioritize how clean it is over, like, playing it faster and sloppy. That is a standard classical way of thinking. And Marcin just doesn't think like that, so we hate him for it. But I'm just pointing it out, I guess. Alright. It's still pretty good. Like, it's not bad. It's just, like, it's a little too fast. He plays that better. I feel like this comes out way better. That was great. That was so clean, dude. I think 9 years ago, that Variation 1 came out better in the theme, and that is still true today. There's something about those arpeggios that Marcin just likes. And you know what? That makes sense. That's literally what I said. On the classical guitar, this sort of arpeggiated stuff is just more idiomatic. It just makes more sense. But playing these, like, fast, just relying on just your fingers twitching like that, even someone as quick as Marcin struggles with getting that to the same speed as that. He plays those arpeggios real nice, though. That's, like, clean. I don't think anybody can complain about that. Sounds great. So the Elliot Fisk recording, that was a live one take. We know that for sure because he was playing like for an audience, possibly a competition. I don't know if it was though. Hey y'all, editing on my treadmill, not actually walking though. Elliot Fisk gets a lot of flack for that one recording of his Paganini. I just want to say one thing about that because I'm not really talking about Elliot that much here. Judging him by one performance at a guitar festival is a little unfair because the amount of stuff that he's learned and recorded, like I was just looking it up, I think he's recorded like 30 classical guitar albums. It looked like it spanned like 20 years. time or something. He's learned a lot of music. He's transcribed a lot of music for the classical guitar. His repertoire is extremely vast. He's played a ton of stuff. So, you know, we're just talking about one piece right now, out of like hundreds of huge pieces that he's learned and recorded professionally. I just wanted to throw that out there. He's not some like schlub just like playing this one piece. Like he's like one of the huge figures in classical guitar. The original Marcin recording of the Paganini was for a school concert, which also probably means I think he only had one take at it. So any Biff stuff, I assume that he just kind of had to eat it and just keep going. Out of all the performances that we've seen of this is by far the lowest stake performance of it because it's Marcin's studio. Marcin invited all of his friends onto here. He hired lighting people and videographers and stuff to make a video for his YouTube channel. I would wager that this is not the sole take that we're hearing right now. I would assume that they took like maybe 2 hours to film this thing. It's a big piece, and he probably recorded it like 10 times in total. And what we're hearing is probably the combination of many recordings put together. Because why wouldn't it be? It's Marcin's production, and he wants to put his best foot forward and show the best possible version of this. Which, what I'm describing right now is a standard. It's an industry standard for recording classical music. You have a piece, and you take like an hour to record it, and you record it 6 or 7 times. And you just stitch them together, one video. It all matches up because you play it at about the same tempo. And if you don't use that take then, or you do a cut, like a fade to somewhere else. And that's just how it works. And in fact, I recently recorded Lob der Trinnen with Drew Henderson because he just like randomly showed up at my school. And we were doing school recordings. And he's going to send me that video, and I'll post it here. And you'll see every 10 seconds there's like a fade to somewhere else, and there's cuts. Now, I'm not noticing that many fades here, but you can still take this video's audio and replace it with another video's audio just to make like the cleanest recording. And I don't think that was an option for Marcin in his 9 years ago recording, and it certainly wasn't an option for Elliot Fisk in that recording 20 years ago or whenever it was. And that's not me discrediting this performance. I'm just saying that this is definitely the lowest stakes one that we've seen so far. He kills variation 1. He kills it. And again, fast stuff where you're just relying on your IM rest stroke or whatever, this is harder. This is like some of the hardest stuff you can do on guitar, I think. And especially if you want to play it as fast as Marcin wants to play it. Slow it down 5 clicks, it'll sound way better. Looks like he is just doing that. I think Elliot Fisk was doing some like P technique, like alternating P in there, but it looks like P is just playing the bass note. That's hard. That's really hard to do, and he's doing it fast. It's a little sloppy, but it's hard. Yeah. You can really hear how intense the compression is on that chord. Yeah. I don't know what this variation is. I'm not seeing this. It don't sound like he's playing little dainty octaves here. So I think he's gonna go right to variation 7. See, I don't know what he's playing. I don't have black dots to follow along with. You know what I love about this? I love that Marcin has been practicing his Paganini. My biggest complaint with him is just that he stopped practicing classical music to pursue his tappy-tappy stuff, which, like, I get as a career move. He's way more successful than me and all of us combined. That was definitely the right move, but just, like, for one soul, I don't think it was the right move. Oh, also, that's a complaint that you guys should be having right now. Why is he playing old dead people's music? This is so lame and unoriginal. He needs to write his own stuff now, right? No, he doesn't, because pursuing high-level art music is a great use of your time, even if you write nothing. But it's nice to see him practicing this kind of music for Marcin's like classical style, because he is a classical guitarist still. I know, despite everything he's done in his whole career, he's still that classical good boy at heart, like he said in the Daddario interview. I think that there is a set of music that Marcin could learn that would be like just perfect for Marcin's playing style. Like, I think the Yobet Sor variations, he would kill the Yobet Sor variations. Like, maybe not in a way that most classical people would expect, but I think in a very unique way that would be kind of like flamenco, slightly, like really rough, like rest stroke, like that kind of playing. I think it would do well for those kind of pieces. Those like flashy variations pieces. So I'd hope to see more recordings of serious classical works from Marcin. Would I want to hear him play Bach? No. No, I would not want to hear Marcin play Bach. I don't think Bach was made for Marcin, though. And I know he has that arrangement of the toccata. No, that ain't it. I don't want to hear that. But this kind of stuff, I feel like Marcin does well. My biggest complaint and why I wouldn't listen to guitar recordings of this is because they always just feel kind of like limp. I feel like this virtuosic violin music just calls for a certain amount of aggression and like fierceness that I just haven't heard captured that well in some recordings. I'm sure you guys can point me to some recordings that do capture it well. Please do. But one of the things that Marcin is good at is like fierce kind of playing. So I don't know, he should learn more of this stuff. Maybe stop making arrangements of just the two of us and learn some actual music for once. Alright, here we go. Yeah. Hear that slap in there? What was that? He just slapped the bass. Yeah, dude. See, like, it's a little odd hearing that in there. I think it's cool still. Alright, let's hear the next variation. His way of playing, there's just something a little, like, careless about it. I don't feel like the bass line is, like, shaped that well, and there's just these weird, like, moments where he hits it, like, way too hard, and it, like, snaps the string, and it's like, what is this? And trust me, I talk to a lot of classical guitarists, and almost all of them despise Marcin. This is something I've experienced. I don't despise Marcin. I think he's ultimately good for a guitar, and I like him. But I see why serious classical guitarists don't like him, because he's putting himself on such a large stage where everyone's going to hear Paganini like this now, and I feel like a lot of the things he does might be disagreed with a lot of, like, more serious people. But when we have this, like, beautiful flowing stuff, I feel like that's where Marcin kind of, his downfall is. If it's not loud and fast, it just sort of doesn't sound that great. I should listen more. From the beginning. And there's still a lot of care in it. Like, the phrasing is nice. It was nice 9 years ago, too. If you listen to the bass line, though, I feel like there's some, like, boom, beam, 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 boom. Or it's just, we'd want, like, ba-dee-da-dee-dum. Yeah, like, I don't, if you listen to the bass, like, on its own, it just sounds kind of, like, sophomoric. Look at me, I'm so arrogant. It's just a feeling. That's the thing. Music's subjective, and this is one man's opinion, so go f*** yourself. Oh yeah, he's gonna kill this part now, I'm sure. Dude, it's the arrows. Alright, so we're skipping a lot of variations too. We're going right to this one. After everything I've heard, this is greatly improved from the 9 years ago recording. It's also different circumstances, mind you, but I do believe that he's gotten better at playing this since then too. I'm most impressed with the early arpeggio variation. I feel like that's like his best variation right there. I bet this one's gonna be pretty good too, because it has slapping in it. You're gonna scratch your French polish, bro. What are you doing there? I'm hearing some tappy tappies in there that I don't think are written in. I don't know. Alright, so he's going into the finale now. Yeah, this Variation 12 is like his bread and butter. He loves... This is why he learned the piece right here, for sure. And all that's like fiery, flamenco-y, sounds good. I feel like it kind of should sound like that with the Rosciato markings and stuff. The finale, let's just hear it. this is. We're done with this now. You know, again, this isn't something that I would listen to, because I don't know, I just don't care to listen to it. It sounds more like an etude. Like, if you want to learn a bunch of really hard techniques on the classical guitar, this is the piece for you. But I think it was well played. I thought it was really good, and it warms my heart seeing Marcin play this kind of music. It wasn't just the same 2-measure riff over and over again with little like noodling in between with a beat behind it or anything. It was an actual classical guitar performance that he somehow finished in 3.5 minutes, when most recordings of this piece is 5 minutes. Granted, he did skip a few variations. Makes me question why he skipped those variations. Like, why not just play them, bro? But I mean, whatever. I don't know. But this is a good thing, and I hope it gets all the views in the world. And in fact, I'll even link this in my description. And don't worry, if I forget to link it, one of you kind commenters will link it for me, and I will pin it, and I won't bother checking, because it doesn't matter, because I trust you guys. You'll link the right thing. You'll do me well. All in all, more of this. Different pieces, too. You should learn different pieces that are kind of these flashy, virtuosic pieces. I feel like that would be really cool. I mean, at least compared to this, you hear the little melodies in there. Like, what melody is that compared to what we just heard from Paganini? It sucks. It sucks, right? Why would you want to listen to this over that? Why would you want to practice this over that? I don't get it. Hey, stop working on other people's music. Why don't you just write your own music, fool? Because of that. Because of this right here. That's the danger of it. Obviously, I'm being sardonic. Write your own music, of course. But don't judge people for wanting to pursue stuff like the Paganini or Bach or whatever. Because it's like, it's beautiful. Like, the joys of just being able to play something like that and to like express yourself through that kind of music. It's something even Marcin can't get away with. Because look at him. He's doing it, alright? And that's another Marcin video for the books. Marcin, I think he's been officially destroyed now, right? I destroyed Marcin, officially. That being said, let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. Of course, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Hey, if you can't afford to hire all of your high school friends to come and watch you perform your Paganini you've been working on for 9 years, you can attend my recital class, link in the description. Of course, head on down over to Rutin's Delight for some merch. There's a sale going on, 15% or something like that. And yeah, alright, well, leave a poopy little baby comment about how I suck and I'll never be Marcin, and I'm gonna go cry now. And I'll see you in the next one.